Euro USD directional bias. Alright, the monthly time frame we got bearish. The weekly time frame bullish. Daily time frame bullish. H4 bullish. Alright. So I'm gonna let you know right now. Alright, my ladies and gentlemen. We got Euro USD. Let's get to the charts, baby. Alright, monthly time frame bearish, as I said. To get specific, you see this area right here. You know, you can draw. I like to do random lines, random horizontal lines, and it's really not random. It's really a point of support, a major support. Draw it just on that median area, and then we have these two. Well, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. Those 4 candles signify that price has broken past this area of support. So this means in a lower time frame, it should look something like this. Something like that along those lines. So it should be some type of break of support, come back up to retest. Another break of support, come back up to retest along those lines, right? And we can confirm that when we go on the weekly, daily H4. Alright, so monthly bearish. Today is 3/12, so March 12th, middle of the month already coming up. It's crazy. Last month closed out pretty bearish, you know. When we have one candle protruding past the opening price of another candle, that can signify what's normally a candlestick pattern. For this is bearish engulfing, but it can signify, you know, a bearish downturn. So let's go to the weekly. Now, the weekly. This is where it gets interesting. Alright, the weekly we got, you can see clear as day, a change of character. I normally just say break of resistance or break of structure. It's pretty much when the market has set up for a trend change. So it went from, just my counter trend line right here. CTL, counter trend line. Sometimes I like to do this just to label it, just, you know, train my eyes, sell zone. And right here, I'm going to put buy zone. Alright. It's easy to see sometimes, and you can leave it on your chart. I do that because, you know, on one side of your counter trend line, you have your sell zone, and the other side, you have your buy zone, right? And we identify a downtrend by the series of lower highs and lower lows it makes. So this lower high right here was broken by, I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. I wouldn't stop at this candle because, you know, it doesn't look that strong. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So I would go to the next candle. And this entire thing I would consider a choke, break of resistance, break of structure, whatever terminology you want to use, right? But the whole idea is that once you get a break of structure, it's a trend change. And after that, the market will come down to test newfound support. We can draw a zone. Really, we can draw one right here. There, we can draw one right there. Come down to test newfound support, right? And then I think that's a good zone because of this wick as well. People draw zones differently, but I normally just go, I'll take one long wick or area where I feel like it's a lot of wicks. I'm going to the line chart to kind of piggyback off that to kind of figure out, you know, where you see a whole bunch of points in the market. But yep, the weekly is bullish, right? And it's really just based off that choke right there. Market came back up and now it's retracing. All right, let's go to daily. Daily time frame, and this is where it can get a little tricky, right? So let me delete some of this stuff. This is where it can get a little tricky, right? So I put bullish, and I put bullish for a couple of different reasons. Now, this to me looks kind of confusing, and when I get confused in the market, this is what I do. As far as structure, when I get confused with structure, I start using my arrows, right? So I'm pretty much just drawing out my higher highs and higher lows. So this is a higher high, a low. You can do majors or minors. For this one, I'll just do majors. What I would consider to be majors. Right? This is just the easiest way I feel like, because you can do minors, but the minors are normally consolidation. You know what I mean? And it's pretty much going to be the same thing. But for me, it's two things that can happen, right? So when I did this, you kind of can see some type of, not inverted, but a head and shoulders pattern, right? But to me, this is really just minor structure right here. But in a sense, it still could be enough to consider this to be another choke right here on the daily. But it just depends. You know what I mean? But for me, I put bullish because I feel like I see some type of, people call it different things. I normally just call it like a megaphone. I feel like the market is going to do one of these numbers. You know that megaphone pattern? I normally don't trade it. Well, I don't base my analysis off of it. I normally just kind of like watch out for it to see kind of like, you know, where the consolidation is. But be wary of this. Just, you know, be very aware of the fact that this could be a head and shoulders pattern. And if it is a head and shoulders pattern, then this daily will be considered bearish. But for me, I'm open to both sides, but in fact, I'll put bearish too. I'm open to both sides, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to get consolidated right here and hit one of these numbers and then possibly shoot up. But we trade what we see, not what we think, right? All right. So, yeah, to me, that can get a little tricky. But let's look at the H4. All right. As far as the H4, this is another reason why I feel like it's more so, the daily was more so bullish than bearish. Because of the H4, you know, lower time frame is normally a ripple effect all the way up into the higher time frame. So as far as the H4 is concerned, you want to figure out what the market is doing? Take your arrow, start drawing structure. All right. So to me, this looks as if it could. Alright, so there's a couple things that I want to point out, and this is getting into like some really advanced analysts, but alright. So right here, I would consider this a break. These two candles, a break of this higher high. I would consider that a break, right? But all right, yeah. So definitely, I would consider this a break of this higher high right here. But this is also what we got. So breaking this higher high to test newfound support to shoot back up. It never did that. Test, test. Now look, I'm gonna draw right here. I would consider this another break. See now, this is what I feel like you don't want. This is like choppy mess. You know what I mean? So it's imperative that you zoom out, go to the higher time frame to confirm what you see on the lower time frame, so you're not getting frustrated with yourself and the market. Alright. You gotta figure out what the market is doing and where it's going. Let's draw that right there. Perfect. Alright. Let's figure out what the fluff is. Test, test. Ooh, okay. There's a gap right here. Market has to come down to fill that gap. Gotcha. So this is fluff. This is all fluff. That's what the market did. You see how the market did that? But it did all this extraness. That's pretty much what it did. It went from here to here. Went from there to there. Alright. So for the H4, where did I put bullish. And I'm going to stand by bullish because of this area right here. This higher high area right here will be broken to come back down to test newfound support. This is invalid. I would consider this to be invalid. It's invalid because of what I see on the higher time frame. This is what I call fluff. Extra stuff that confuses you, you know, because it tested, right? This is the move right here. So from point A to point B. All this is fluff. All this is fluff. And this is the pullback. 100%. 100% always go back up. Alright. If that went over somebody's head, I'm sorry. But it just got real. Because when I get confused, you know, it's kind of hard to explain something when you're confused too. So I had to start pulling out stuff and doing stuff. But yeah, definitely bullish for the H4. Alright. But that's it for this video. Stay tuned. This week I'm gonna drop some new how-to videos, how to identify a trend, how to do basic market structure. Lots of things in store for this week. Y'all stay tuned. Alright, y'all, I'm out.